Capsule endoscopy in clinical practice. It's like, no, if somebody has not seen capsule, first thing will come in mind, what is capsule that we normally eat and endoscope? How can we combine both this together? If we combine both this together, this will be the picture. That is a pill cam. It is a pill with camera. This is the most defined, most latest version of capsule containing both the side camera. So complete that we use in mobile phone panoramic view. So 360-degree rotatory movement and all the folds, everything can be used. And this PillCam colon 2 is used for only colon. Okay. We'll go ahead. Introduction. Capsule endoscopy was used first time in humans in 1999. So it's not far away. It's only 21-year-old. Just became adult eligible for marriage. A commercially available capsule was used in human. First time FDA approved was in 2001. So after that, it came in market and practice, and it is available in Gujarat, or we can say India, Ahmedabad. It's available since 2010 onwards. Since the introduction of in clinical practice, capsule endoscopy has established its invaluable space in various GI diseases. Why capsule and why it has made an invaluable space? Because there are certain indications where we need to have roadmap. We need to find out where should we begin and where should we go, because entire GI tract from mouth to anus, it is total 8 meters of length in average human adults. We cannot see 8 meters with the normal endoscopes. So capsule plays a role. We'll come where it plays a role, where it is useful. Types of capsule available in practice or available for commercial use. Two major companies have capsule endoscopy products. One is Given Imaging that I kept first picture, that is PillCam, and another is Olympus Endocapsule. You can see pictures here. Others are Microcam and OMOM pill. OMOM pill is from China, not available in India yet, but otherwise all three are available. Capsule endoscopy components. See, I'll give basic what capsule does and when to use and what are its uses. Capsule endoscopy contains capsule itself. See, it will come that if we swallow the capsule, where will be recording? Because we never retrieve that capsule. Once eaten, it is gone. Patient will always pass that in stools, and we never go to retrieve that and collect data from that. It is usually data recorder attached to aerial leads which are taped to the patient's abdominal wall, dedicated computer with software for downloading and analyzing the images from the data recorder. So overall, if we see, this is the capsule endoscopy components. Here, this is a real-time viewer that will be with the patient. Whenever we are doing capsule, patient will be wearing this in the collar or on the abdomen waist. And in that we can see real time. These are the leads that we apply. Like for ECG, we apply leads. Here there will be sensory array that will be applied over anterior abdominal wall and lower chest, and we can locate real time where the capsule is when patient is already undergoing capsule endoscopy. And this is a software system. These are the parts of capsule. If we see commonly used small bowel capsule contains a lot of in 33 mm size capsule. And this, you remember this patency capsule word. I will say what is this patency capsule. So capsule endoscopy consists of total 8 parts. Optical dome, if we can see step by step, lens holder, lens, 6 illuminating LEDs, and complementary metal oxide silicon image sensor, 2 silver dioxide batteries. Remember this battery is like mobile phone. It has also batteries. Application specific integrated circuit for transmitter and antenna at the end. And from this antenna, every image that are captured will be transmitted on the receiver. Indications of capsule endoscopy. Basically, they are for small bowel, colonic diseases, and for even esophageal diseases, there are capsule. We will deal only with small bowel capsule because we normally don't do capsule for esophagus and colon. We do with the upper GI endoscope and colonoscopes. That is feasible and cost-effective way. What are the indications of capsule endoscopy in small bowel? Most common indication that we use is obscure GI bleed. Another is Crohn's disease. Whenever obscure GI bleed is there, most common diagnosis will be Crohn's disease. For diagnosis, evaluation of disease activity like CRP and ESRI, inflammatory blood marker, capsule will give us entire bowel recording, and that will assess how much length of bowel is involved, because Crohn's can involve from mouth to anus anywhere in GI tract. Celiac disease for diagnosis and as well as evaluation in a refractory diseases. Small bowel tumors, usually they present with history of weight loss and anemia. So in that cases, polyp surveillance in patients with polyposis syndrome like Peutz-Jeghers syndrome and familial adenomatous polyposis. And if small intestinal transplant being done, in that case is graft rejection or graft versus host disease assessment, as well as unsolved abdominal pain or diarrhea. We never use that because we do CT scan, endoscopy, all that. This is the least common indication. These are the pictures I have kept, representative pictures. This is how capsule sees. Camera of capsule captures the picture. You can see here two arteriovenous malformation. This is a typical NSAID induced ulcer. If a patient uses NSAID, that the ulcers will be usually circumferential deep ulcer. We can see this, and this in capsule you can see polyp is seen here, and these are the adenocarcinoma because abnormal appearing mucosa with the elevation is seen. Here we can see even hookworms. In this case is E image, and F image is a ectopic varices, small intestinal varices. These are the pictures. Now, to see upper GI endoscopy and colonoscopy pictures and assessment and capsule endoscopy assessment is a completely different. There is even atlas of 300 pages for capsule endoscopy images because we do very infrequently. So it also requires repeated looking at the capsule video. Okay. And these are the Crohn's disease pictures. We can see stricture is there, ulcers are there. These are the aphthous ulcers. These are serpiginous ulcers of Crohn's disease, cobblestoning, and stricture even. Now, can we use in stricture in Crohn's disease? We usually should not use capsule in stricture in Crohn's disease. This will also come. What are the complications? That's what capsule retention. So we need to have roadmap. Capsule retention happens in 1 to 2% of cases, where I mentioned in that image patency capsule. Patency capsule is available that we ask patient to swallow. If the capsule comes out within 24 hours, that means GI tract is patent, we can use capsule. Otherwise, there are high chances of retention of capsule. Patency capsule usually get dissolved in 40 hours duration. So that is lactose made capsule. Anyone swallows, if it is retained, it will dissolve in 40 hours. Capsule aspiration in tracheobronchial tree, impaction in cricopharyngeus muscle. If Zenker's diverticulum or Meckel's diverticulum is there, their retention can happen, and theoretical risk of electromagnetic interference in ICD and pacemakers. Contraindications: presence of intestinal strictures, fistula or obstruction, small children, pregnant females due to lack of data, patients with swallowing disorder, and pacemaker ICD. Limitations of capsule endoscopy. This is much more important for us as whenever we advise capsule endoscopy, it costs a lot. It costs around 55,000 rupees, but we have a limitation that many a time poor visualization of areas of mucosa when a transition is fast. If patient's motility of small bowel is fast, it may not capture all the frames. Inability to insufflate. Normally, when we do endoscopy, we use carbon dioxide or we use air to inflate the GI tract, insufflate the GI tract, but here that is a limitation. So assessment, image interpretation also makes a difference. And views and maybe sometimes debris interference and lack of biopsy. That is the biggest disadvantage with the capsule. Even if we see pathology, we cannot do biopsy. And what is the future? These limitations can be circumvented with the future advances. This you can see biopsy forceps coming from the capsule. So there are now like robot, we have joysticks. It is in under advance. It is still not available in India. We can control capsule from outside, from the surface. We can move at the different location using the magnet. So this is the future advance. Robotics in capsule is also going to be coming, and biopsy can be taken even with the capsule endoscopy. Here biopsy forceps is coming out. So this is the future of capsule endoscopy, and this is another future plan. Spider pill and endoscopic capsule robot. These knives are there in that it can go to cut the tissue. If polyps are there, it can be cut. It can be controlled from outside. Intestinal robot, pill size capsule robot capable of performing tissue biopsy and dispensing drug, localized tissue drug dispersion can also be possible. These are future. They are going to be available by 2030 because they are under trial. And like we know, without plug, charging of the mobile phone, just so battery less capsule that we can charge from outside in order to overcome the limitation of battery life, as well as for more liberal rate of image acquisition, attempts have been made to supply power to the capsule from external source with a wireless transmission. So this is going to be future. Why battery less capsule? Because here small bowel capsule, we have a limitation that its life battery capacity is 8 to 10 hours maximum. So we need to have prolonged time frame.